Blaze A B C E.
The clock don't chase me, it cuts me off. Every second slips a shoulder past my guard. Before I even answer back, no warning shots, no mercy count. Just another minute trying to convince my lungs they're already finished. I quit arguing with the timer a long time ago. Now I enter every kick with another step, another pivot, another combination. Stitch so tight the air barely fits between the punches. While they wait for the perfect feeling, I'm already halfway through another round. Letting momentum make decisions. My comfort never with a sign. Time never slows for excuses. So why should I don't count reps, I collect evidence. Every drop hitting the canvas signs another receipt that says I stayed when leaving would have been easy. Or the shoulder shake with the calves lock up. Better that's the sign of weak habits. Getting evicted one contraction at a time. Every breath bargain for another inch. Every inch brought another opportunity to steal the pace back from the clock before it steals something from me. Pressure isn't the problem anymore. Hesitation is, and hesitation costs more than exhaustion ever will. Another second gone, close the distance. Another second gone, tighten the rhythm. Another second gone, hands get faster. Another second gone, heart gets quieter. Keep taking back what the clock keeps trying to steal. The bell doesn't start my work, it interrupts it. I walked in carrying unfinished business from yesterday, and I'm not interested in leaving with another balance due. Every exchange is an audit, every clean connection proves the investment wasn't wasted. I cut corners out of my footwork before I ever cut them out of the workout, because shortcuts always in the bill when the rounds get ugly. Let the pace climb into thinking can't keep up. That's where instinct finally earns its paycheck. The time I keep circling the same numbers every day, pretending nothing changes. That's the biggest lie in the room. My feet move sharper than they did last week. My recovery still seconds I used to lose. My guard returns before panic even recognizes the opening. The clock thinks it's repeating itself. It doesn't realize it's facing someone who refuses to stay the same. Some people hear the countdown and protect what's left. I hear it and spend everything. Empty tanks get filled tomorrow. Missed seconds never do. That's why I step into the fire before my pulse settles, because comfort always asks for one more minute, and a minute always disappears when somebody else's progress. I don't train until the clock says stop. I train into the version of me that showed up today. Can't keep pretending he's enough. The rhythm changes, breathing gets shorter, footwork gets lighter, vision gets narrower. Every exchange strips another layer off hesitation, until the only thing left standing is reaction. No wasting motion, no borrowed confidence, no waiting for momentum to arrive from somewhere outside. Build it, feed it, protect it, then force it forward before doubt remembers your name. When the clock speeds up, I settle down. When the rounds get longer, my movements get smaller. When the lungs get louder, my focus gets quieter. Every second it takes from me comes back wearing better timing. Look around, same wall, same ring, same timer, hanging where it's always been. Funny how nothing in this room changes except the person refusing to lose inside it. Yesterday the pace with a broken me, today it introduces itself, shakes my hand and gets dragged into deeper water. That's what adaptation looks like when it's earned instead of imagined. The final bell isn't victory, it's evidence that I made another appointment with pressure and never missed it. Tomorrow the clock will come back believing it owns another hour. Let it believe that I'll be there before the first second leaves the line. Ready to steal the pace again, ready to make another 60 minutes feel too small for what I'm building. The clock keeps counting. I keep closing the gap. One day it'll be chasing me. Pressure never announces itself with a loud entrance. It slips into the smallest weakness, settles where attention fades, then quietly starts collecting interest. That's the part everybody misses. They chase explosive moments while I'm building invisible advantages that can clean decisions into the outcome as nowhere else to go. Every rep tightens the structure, every adjustment removes wasted movement. A correction steals another inch from resistance before it realizes the space is gone. I don't confuse speed with urgency, fast hands without direction. I just noise, every strike is an address, every step has a reason, every breath is time to survive the pace that's still climbing. The goal isn't overwhelm the session in the first minute. The goal is to become the pressure that never disappears. Stay close enough to force mistakes, calm enough to recognize them, disciplined enough to exploit them without wasting motion. Pressure doesn't win because it's louder. It wins because it never stops showing up in the same place until resistance forgets how to answer. Keep the rhythm clean, keep the standard moving forward. Keep investing in the details, nobody applauds today. One careful decision becomes another, another becomes momentum. And before anyone notices, the balance is already shifted beyond repair. Nothing collapses by accident, the cracks were written long before the failure became visible. That's why I trust repetition more than emotion, and percent more than excitement. Every session leaves behind something the next session can build on, even even if nobody else can see it yet. Layer after layer, the foundation changes. The reaction sharp and the recovery short as the hesitation disappears by the time the pressure finally breaks through. People call it sudden. It wasn't sudden, it was earned, one perfect detail at a time. Now the pressure has a direction, it doesn't wander anymore. It hunts the same weakness until the weakness forgets how to recover. Every clean exchange leaves something behind, not damage you could point at, but doubt that grows heavier every time the rhythm comes back unchanged. That's the difference between surviving a hard session and controlling one. Survivor reacts, control decides where the next problem begins. The pace keeps climbing, but the movement keeps shrinking. Less motion, better timing, less tension, more impact. Every adjustment saves another fraction of energy, and those fractions become an entire rounds. When everybody else starts reaching for air, precision isn't slower than power. Less power, arrive exactly where it belongs. That's why patience keeps winning. Fights people swear were decided by strength alone. Pressure isn't measured by how hard you hit, it's measured by how impossible it becomes to escape what keeps coming next. Stay composed when the rhythm speeds up, stay disciplined when the body starts bargaining. Keep removing every unnecessary movement until the only thing left is forward. That's when resistance realizes it has been losing long before it ever noticed the score. By the end, nothing looks dramatic, no celebration, no explosion, just another standard quietly replacing the old one. That's a real progress, enters the room. It doesn't ask for attention, it demands consistency. Tomorrow, though the weight will still be waiting, the distance will still be list, the resistance will still believe it has another chance. Good, that gives me another opportunity to prove that pressure isn't something that survives anymore, it's something I create. Pressure never leaves, neither do I. Gravity never gets tired of collecting. Every lift, every stride, every landing comes with a price, and the bill always arrives before the reward does. Most people spend their strength trying to fight the weight, I spend mine learning where the weight wants to go, and force it somewhere and never plan to travel. That's how leverage beats raw effort, that's how control outlives power. The floor keeps asking the same question every session: how much are you willing to carry today? My answer changes every time, because yesterday's number already belongs to history. Load another plate, tighten another step, lock another breath into the rhythm before doubt finds somewhere to settle. Heavy isn't the enemy, hesitation is the moment movement loses commitment. Gravity starts charging interest on every mistake. Every rep leaves fingerprints on tomorrow. Every controlled descent teaches the next descent when not to waste energy. That's why I don't chase easy victories. Easy weight never teaches difficult lessons. Give me resistance that refuses to cooperate. Give me momentum that has to be earned instead of borrowed. I keep stacking disciplined decisions until the impossible starts looking overdue. Gravity never forgets to pull. Good. That gives me another chance to push. The heavier the demand, the cleaner the response. Stay under the weight, stay inside the rhythm. Stay patient enough to let precision become strength. Nothing rises without paying the tax. First. The strongest foundation isn't built when the load feels light. It's built when every instinct says to rush and every decision chooses control instead. My breathing stays measured while the pressure keeps climbing, because panic wastes energy the discipline already knows how to spend. One more inch, one more clean movement, one more repetition, and nobody will remember until the results become impossible to ignore. Gravity keeps making the same offer. Give in for a moment and everything gets easier. I keep giving the same answer. Not today. The weight doesn't become lighter, I become harder to interrupt. That's the difference people miss when they call it getting stronger. Strength isn't a sudden upgrade, it's thousands of quiet corrections hiding inside movements that used to fall apart. The shoulders stay locked, the hips stay patient, the feet refuse to rush the transfer of force. Every clean repetition teaches the next one how to waste less, recover faster, and carry more without asking for permission. Most people challenge gravity with emotion, I challenge it with consistency. Show up before excuses finish, talking finish before comfort starts. Negotiating, repeat until discipline becomes the first reaction instead of the last option. The body keeps searching for shortcuts while the mind keeps deleting them one by one, leaving only the road that demands everything and gives back something worth keeping. Gravity keeps asking the same question every day, but my answer keeps getting heavier. Stand your ground, own the movement, let every control repetition rewrite yesterday's limit without announcing it. Real strength never arrives all at once, it accumulates quietly until resistance runs out of reasons to believe you'll stop. Tomorrow the bar will still feel heavy, the distance won't shrink on its own. The pressure won't become polite because yesterday went well. Good, that's exactly why I keep coming back. Progress isn't built on exceptional days, it's built on ordinary sessions, repeated with uncommon precision until ordinary becomes impossible to recognize. Gravity will always collect its tax, I'll keep paying it until strength owes me instead. Nothing nothing rises for free. Earn every inch. Nothing moves without paying friction first. Every step drags against something that wants to slow. Every plane catches on invisible resistance before momentum ever gets a chance to breathe. That's why stop looking for smooth roads. Smooth, never taught balance. Smooth, never sharp in timing. Give me rough ground, stubborn weight, stubborn progress. Because every obstacle leaves behind information that comfort never bothers to collect. Yeah. People blame the distance when it's the hesitation stealing the miles. They blame the load when it's wasting motion, emptying the tank too early. I trimmed every unnecessary movement until the work started flowing through the shortest possible path. Less reaching, less rushing, less proving. More precision, more control, more pressure, exactly where it belongs. Efficiency isn't taking the easy way out. It's refusing to donate energy to mistakes that should have been retired yesterday. Every session begins with resistance, pretending it's permanent. Every repetition answers with another correction, another cleaner angle, another sharper transfer of force. Tiny improvements don't ask for attention. They accumulate quietly, hiding beneath ordinary days. Until one morning, the impossible starts feeling strangely familiar. Friction never disappears, it simply asks a better question. Every time you come back, stay connected to the movement. Stay patient with the process, keep driving forward even when nothing feels different yet. Resistance isn't standing in your way. It's revealing exactly how much of your effort still belongs to yesterday. The first few minutes always still expansive. Breathing argues with rhythm muscles. Negotiate for easier choices. The mind starts offering shortcuts disguised as strategy. I decline every one of them. Real progress isn't hidden behind dramatic breakthroughs. It's buried inside discipline, repetitions that nobody applauds while they're happening. By the time the session finally starts working in my favor, friction has already done its job. It tested every weak habit before letting momentum earn a place to stand. Momentum feels different now because every unnecessary movement has already been left behind. The work gets heavier while the body gets quieter, and that's where friction starts losing leverage. Every clean transition steals another advantage from resistance. Every controlled breath extends the distance before fatigue can collect another payment. I don't force speed into the session anymore, I let efficiency create it. The shortest path isn't the easiest one, it's the one with the fewest mistakes. Resistance keeps hoping, I waste energy proving something I stopped performing for the room a long time ago. Every adjustment has a purpose, every correction protects the next repetition before it even happens. Precision keeps stacking where emotion burns out, and consistency keeps cashing checks that motivation could never afford. By the time discomfort realizes it is company, discipline is already taking control of the pace. Friction keeps asking for more every time I return, so I keep giving it cleaner movement instead of louder effort. Let the resistance stay exactly where it is, because every obstacle becomes another teacher. When the rhythm refuses to break, the harder it pulls against me, the more certain I become that I'm moving in the right direction. Nothing about the session looks extraordinary from the outside. That's exactly why it works. Real change hides inside details too small to celebrate today, and too powerful to ignore tomorrow. Another better angle, another steadier breath, another cleaner transfer of force. Piece by piece, the ordinary becomes uncommon until the old version of me can't recognize the standard anymore. Friction never became weaker, I simply became impossible to slow down. Resistance remains, momentum stays. Dead weight doesn't fight back. Dead weight doesn't fight back, it waits, it lets impatience waste strength before it asks for anything in return. That's why the first mistake is never lifting too little, it's trying to overpower something that only respects control. I stopped treating resistance like an enemy to defeat and started treating it like a language to understand. Every grip tells a story before the movement begins. Every setup decides whether the finish becomes smooth or expensive. Rush the beginning and the ending sends the build with interest. The room rewards intensity because intensity is easy to notice. It quietly ignores efficiency because efficiency doesn't need attention. I learned to trust the invisible work, the tiny adjustments nobody applauds, the steady rhythm that keeps producing another clean repetition after everyone else starts borrowing momentum from bad habits. Heavy doesn't expose weakness, impatience does. Pressure doesn't create flaws, it reveals the ones that have been waiting for the right amount of weight to introduce themselves. Dead weight never lies, it gives back exactly what you bring into the session. Bring rush movement and it magnifies every mistake. They bring patience, precision, and relentless, and the same resistance. Big discipline work always carries farther than reckless effort. The low stay silent while people keep arguing with it. I save my breath for the next repetition, because the weight doesn't care about confidence speeches. It responds to time and balance, posture and commitment, repeated often enough to become instinct. Every successful lift begins long before the bar ever leaves the ground. The decision arrives first, the execution simply catches up. By the time the movement reaches the top, the outcome has already been written through dozens of details, too small for anyone else to notice. Strength isn't built when resistance finally gives way. It's built while refusing to give away unnecessary energy before it does. The bar doesn't remember yesterday, and that's exactly why I respect it. Every session starts at zero, every rep demands fresh proof. Every set asks the same question with a heavier voice. Reputation stays outside the room, results have to walk in with me. I don't borrow confidence from last week, because resistance only recognizes what happens right now. Show a clean movement, show a steady breathing, show it another reason to believe today's standard belongs higher than yesterday's. Fatigue keeps whispering that one shortcut won't matter. That's how small mistakes grow into expensive habits. I keep tightening every detail before it has the chance to loosen itself. Grip before force, position before speed, stability before power. Build the foundation so well that strength has nowhere else to go except forward. That's how heavy stops feeling impossible and starts feeling familiar. Dead weight never changes its mind, so I stopped asking it till I changed my preparation. Instead, better control, cleaner rhythm, stronger intent, and another repetition that leaves nothing behind except proof that discipline work keeps outlasting raw effort. Resistance isn't waiting for excuses, it's waiting for precision. The final repetition always tells the truth, not about how strong I feel, but about how well I protected every decision that came before it. One careless moment echoes through the whole movement. One disciplined adjustment can rescue the entire set. That's why I keep choosing accuracy after effort, control after speed, consistency after emotion. Strength isn't measured by what finally moves, it's measured by what never falls apart while it does. Respect the weight, then move it. Then move it. Yeah. Chaos never arrives. Chaos. Chaos never arrives all at once. It slips into rush decisions, careless footing, wandering focus on one extra movement that never needed to exist. Most people spend their energy trying to control everything around them. I learned the only thing worth mastering is the response. The room can get louder, the pace can get faster, the pressure can double without warning, but none of that owns the next decision unless I hand it over. That's where discipline starts collecting victories nobody notices until the scoreboard looks impossible to explain. The harder the session pushes, the quieter my thinking becomes. Every movement strips away another distraction. Every clean repetition leaves less room for hesitation to hide. I don't chase perfect conditions, because perfect conditions never build dependable habits. Give me noise, give me uncertainty, give me a workload that keeps changing its mind. Halfway through the set, that's what control proves, whether it belongs to preparation or emotion. Emotion burns bright and disappears. Preparation keeps showing up with the same answer every single time. Chaos keeps changing the question, so I stop memorizing answers. Stay present, stay balanced, keep the rhythm cleaner than the pressure surrounding it. The room doesn't have to become calmer before progress begins. Sometimes the strongest performance comes from learning how to move with complete control, while everything else keeps trying to pull you apart. Every distraction demands attention like it's important, I let it pass. Every shortcut promises relief like it's earned, I let it pass. The only thing worth protecting is the standard I carried into the room before the first repetition ever started. One clean decision becomes another becomes momentum, and momentum becomes confidence that never needs to introduce itself. By the time chaos realizes it failed to interrupt the work, the session has already moved too far forward to chase. Chaos always believes it can speed me up until I make the wrong decision. That's the trap. The faster the room starts moving, the slower my choices become. Every breath has a purpose, every pivot arrives on time. Every ounce of force travels where it was meant to go, instead of leaking into wasted motion. Control isn't hesitation, it's refusing to let urgency rewrite the blueprint. Let everyone else race the clock, I keep on in the next movement, then the one after that, until consistency quietly outruns panic. Pressure keeps changing shape, because confusion is its favorite weapon. One moment is heavier weight, the next is shorter rest. Faster pace, louder thoughts, weaker legs, none of that matters if the foundation motivation never changes. Stay balanced, stay patient, stay dangerous enough to punish every opening the moment it appears. Real composure isn't standing still while everything falls apart. It's continuing to move with precision while everything else loses direction. Chaos never disappears. It only waits for one careless decision to open the door. Keep the rhythm locked in, keep the breathing under control. Keep every movement intentional until disorder runs out of places to hide. The strongest mind isn't the quietest one. It's the one that never abandons the one. When the session finally ends, nothing around me looks different. The walls stayed where they were. The weight never apologized, the timer never slowed down. The only thing that changed was the person making the decisions inside the pressure. That's the victory nobody can measure with numbers alone. Tomorrow the chaos will return, wearing a different face. Good, control doesn't care what it looks like. It only cares that I'm ready. Blast the very response. The rest follows. Yeah. Standards don't collapse in spectacular moments. They disappear through tiny compromises that nobody bothers to remember. One rushed repetition, one lazy setup, one excuse disguised as recovery. That's how discipline gets traded away without anyone noticing the receipt. I made a decision a long time ago. If the detail is small enough to ignore, it's probably important enough to protect. Excellence isn't built on dramatic choices. It's defended by ordinary ones, repeated without negotiation. Every session tries to lower the price of effort. It whispers that almost perfect is close enough, that 90% still counts, that nobody would notice one careless movement. Maybe nobody else would, I would. That's the difference. The standard follows me home long after the workout ends, and every shortcut keeps asking to become tomorrow's habit. I refuse the invitation every single time. Precision is an obsession. It's respect for the work, waiting on the other side of consistency. Standards don't bend because the day feels harder. They stay exactly where I left them yesterday, waiting to see whether I'll rise high enough to meet them again. Protect every detail, respect every repetition, and let discipline speak long before results ever need to introduce themselves. The body remembers what the mind allows. Repeat carelessness often enough and it starts calling itself instinct. Repeat precision often enough and pressure begins running out of places to hide. That's why I never negotiate with small mistakes. Small mistakes grow up, small victories do too. Every clean decision becomes another brick. No setback can quietly remove. By the time the workload reaches its highest point, the foundation is already decided how the ending will look. Pressure always arrives with an offer lower the standard just this once, and nobody will know the difference. That's the easiest lie to believe because it sounds reasonable before it becomes expensive. I don't measure discipline by the sessions that feel easy. I measure it when the legs stop cooperating, when the lungs start bargaining, when every shortcut suddenly looks intelligent. That's what character signs its name, not in comfort and refusal. One careless repetition becomes a careless habit. One careless habit becomes a ceiling that follows you into every session after it. I refuse to build limits with my own hands. Every correction happens immediately. Every mistake gets answered before it has the chance to settle in. Delay teaches weakness where urgency should have taught precision. If the standard deserves protection, tomorrow it deserves protection now. The standard doesn't care how I feel today. It waits in the exact same place, demanding the exact same commitment, asking the exact same question. Will I protect every detail when nobody is watching? That's where consistency separates itself from motivation. And that's where progress quietly chooses who gets to keep moving forward. Results never arrive by accident. They follow routines too disciplined to become interesting, and decisions too consistent to become exciting. That's why I trust repetition more than emotion, and preparation more than confidence. Every session leaves behind another layer that pressure can't easily remove. Every clean movement raises tomorrow's expectation before tomorrow even begins. Zero tolerance isn't about perfection. It's about never giving bad habits permission to survive. Protect the standard. The results will follow. Yeah. Nobody notices breathing until breathing becomes expensive. That's when the truth starts talking. The lungs don't care how confident I sounded before the first set. They only care whether every decision leading here deserve another inhale. Air isn't guaranteed inside this room, it's earned. Control breath at a time while the workload keeps climbing higher than comfort ever planned to follow. Every recovery tells a story of every shortcut I refused long before fatigue came looking for proof. The body always asks the wrong question first. How much longer? I answer with a different one. How much cleaner? Distance isn't built by surviving another minute. It's built by protecting the rhythm inside every second. I don't throw energy around, hoping enough of it lands somewhere useful. I place it carefully, breathing through pressure instead of fighting it, keeping the pace alive long after urgency runs out of fuel. Panic steals oxygen, precision stretches it further than panic believes possible. The air doesn't belong to anyone standing in the room. It belongs to the one who keeps earning another breath without letting the rhythm fall apart. Stay composed when the lungs grow louder. Stay patient when the pace grows heavier, because control begins the moment breathing stops asking for mercy and starts working with purpose. Recovery isn't rest, recovery is another skill waiting to be trained. So the heartbeat without slowing the intent, calm the breathing without lowering the standard. Every inhale prepares the next movement before the body realizes it's ready again. That's why the strongest sessions aren't won by the person who never gets tired. They're won by the person who learns how to recover before fatigue finishes making its argument. Every breath carries a decision, wasted chasing movements that never mattered, or invested where the next repetition begins before the last one completely ends. I stopped treating oxygen like a rescue plan and started treating it like another discipline to master. Slow enough to recover, sharp enough to attack again, steady enough that the rhythm never has to wait for panic to step aside. The lungs don't lead the session anymore, they follow the standard I've already chosen. The body keeps searching for relief, because relief always sounds reasonable under pressure. I keep searching for efficiency, because efficiency keeps paying dividends after comfort disappears. A cleaner inhale shortens the recovery, a calmer exhale protects the next exchange. One control cycle becomes another until exhaustion realizes it has been competing against preparation instead of determination. That's a fight, it rarely wins. The next breath is never free. It arrives carrying the price of every decision that came before it. Stay patient when the chest gets heavy. Stay connected to the rhythm when the pace refuses to slow down. And keep moving with purpose until breathing stops. Feeling like survival, it starts becoming another advantage. The room grows quieter near the end, not because the work gets easier, but because every unnecessary thought has already been left behind. No bargaining, no counting down, no searching for excuses hidden inside fatigue. Just another breath, another movement, another reason to keep the standard exactly where it belongs. That's when endurance stops looking like endurance. It starts looking like control. On the breath, on the pace. Speed is fool more people than failure ever could. Move too fast without intention, and every mistake arrives before the correction has a chance to exist. I stopped chasing quick results the day I realized velocity means nothing without direction. Fast feet don't matter if they keep visiting the wrong place. Fast hands don't matter if they spend more energy searching and landing. Every movement earns its place before it earns its speed, because precision creates acceleration that panic can never imitate. The room keeps rewarding urgency, like urgency and progress are the same conversation. The not urgency burns through tomorrow, trying to impress today. Discipline invest today, so tomorrow doesn't have to negotiate with weakness again. I let the rhythm build naturally, one clean repetition reinforcing the next until momentum becomes impossible to interrupt. That's when speed stops feeling dangerous. It starts feeling deserved. There is no safe speed without control beneath it. Let the rhythm grow before the pace explodes. Let every movement stay honest before asking it to become faster. Real acceleration never skips the foundation, it stands on it. Trust it, then leaves hesitation too far behind to matter. Most people rush because they're afraid of falling behind. I move with intention because I know wasted effort is the fastest way to lose ground. Every transition stays connected, every adjustment protects the next decision before pressure has a chance to interfere. That's how confidence is built, not by moving first, but by moving correctly. Often enough that speed eventually becomes the easiest part of the work. The pace keeps climbing, but nothing inside the movement starts falling apart. That's the difference. Anyone can move fast for a few seconds, maintaining accuracy. After fatigue starts rewriting the rules, that's where speed earns its name. Every step lands exactly where the next one needs it. Every Every breath I rise before the body asks for it. Every transition carries momentum instead of chasing it. I don't accelerate because the pressure gets louder. I accelerate because the foundation finally gives me permission. People confuse motion with progress. Every single day they celebrate being busy while efficiency quietly passes them without making a sound. I don't need more movement, I need better movement. Repeated often enough that the pace naturally becomes impossible to ignore. Speed without purpose fades. Precision compounds keep compounding long enough, and acceleration becomes the byproduct. Instead of the objective, the fastest path isn't the one that looks reckless. It's the one that never wastes a single decision along the way. Stay connected to the rhythm, trust the work already invested, and let every clean movement build the next one. Until speed no longer feels forced, it simply becomes the only direction left to travel. Tomorrow I'll move faster than today, not because I demanded it, but because the day's discipline quietly prepared the road before I ever arrive. That's how lasting progress works. It never announces itself, it keeps collecting small victories until the distance between who I was and who I became can no longer be measured by effort alone. Speed didn't save me, preparation did. Move with purpose, then move faster. Comfort has purpose on me. He never shows up before the work begins. It waits until the breathing gets heavier, until the shoulders start asking quieter questions, until every extra repetition suddenly sounds unnecessary. That's when it starts making office. Slow the pace, shorten the range, say something for later and never demand. Surrender all at once and negotiates one small compromise at a time until discipline forgets what it originally came here to protect. I stopped treating comfort like a reward because rewards arrive after the work is finished. Now while it's still being tested, every difficult session gives me another chance to recognize his voice before it settles into my decisions. The body always prefers efficiency. Comfort disguises itself as efficiency. That's why I learned to separate intelligent movement from convenient movement. One builds capacity, the other quietly borrows from tomorrow just to make today feel easier. Pressure doesn't become valuable because it hurts. It becomes valuable because it reveals which habits still depend on easy conditions. Let the workload climb, let the rhythm tighten, let the session ask harder questions than yesterday ever could. If the standard only survives comfortable days, then it was never strong enough to deserve protecting. Comfort always promises relief before the work is complete. Let it keep talking while discipline keeps moving. Stay committed when the pace gets heavier. Stay patient when progress feels invisible, because the strongest habits are built exactly where comfort stops volunteering to follow. The session never asks whether I feel ready. It only asks whether the preparation was honest. Every controlled repetition answers louder than confidence ever could. Every decision to stay precise under pressure becomes another layer no easy day can replace. That's how resilience grows. Not by escaping discomfort, but by making it too familiar to interrupt the rhythm. This discomfort never stays the same for long. The weight gets heavier, the pace gets faster. The recovery gets shorter, and every adjustment demands a better version of yesterday's discipline. That's why I stop chasing easier sessions. Easy never prepares the next level. Every difficult repetition teaches something comfort keeps trying to hide. Stay inside the pressure long enough and uncertainty begins losing its authority. The body adapts because it has no other choice. The mind adapts because I stopped giving it permission to retreat. There comes a point where fatigue stops sounding convincing. It repeats the same arguments every session, hoping this time I mistake them for wisdom. Slow down, skip one, save your strength. I've heard the speech before. The answer never changes. One more clean moving, one more committed decision, one more opportunity to prove that consistency grows stronger every time convenience fails to win the conversation. Discomfort isn't standing in the way of progress. It is the path progress has been waiting on all along. Stay with the rhythm when the body wants relief. Stay faithful to the standard when shortcuts start sounding reasonable. And let every difficult decision become another reason tomorrow feels lighter than today. The session ends exactly where the excuses expected it to. The differences, they never expected me to still be moving with intention after everything became uncomfortable. That's what changes the outcome. Not one heroic moment, but hundreds of disciplined choices, protecting the same standard from beginning to end. Tomorrow, the work will ask for more good. I'll arrive ready to disappoint comfort again. Stay uncomfortable, keep evolving. yeah, 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 yeah. Waist highs inside movements that almost look correct. An extra step before the turn, an extra breath before the lift, an extra hesitation before the commitment. Nobody notices them one by one, because each mistake feels too small to matter. Stack enough of them together and suddenly the pace collapses under a weight that never should have existed. That's why I stopped chasing harder work before mastering cleaner work. Efficiency isn't doing less, it's refusing to spend energy where nothing valuable gets built. Every session exposes another habit, trying to survive on autopilot. The body loves familiar patterns, even when those patterns keep stealing progress. A little at a time, I interrupt them immediately. Sharper setup, tighter rhythm, shorter path. Every correction protects the next decision before it becomes another expensive habit. Precision doesn't arrive through talent, it arrives because I keep removing everything that doesn't deserve to stay. The strongest movement is usually the simplest one. Keep the rhythm honest, keep the purpose clear, and let every unnecessary action disappear before it has a chance to become tomorrow's routine. Progress doesn't ask for more effort first, it asks for less waste. Power without direction spends itself too early. Speed without structure outruns its own balance. That's why every repetition begins before the movement never starts. The decision comes first, the alignment follows, the execution simply reveals whether the preparation was honest enough to deserve the result. Every unnecessary movement leaves behind a hidden cost. Maybe it's only half a second, maybe it's one careless breath, maybe it's just enough wasted energy to matter 3 rounds later when precision becomes harder to protect. That's how fatigue collects interest, not through one terrible decision, but through hundreds of tiny ones nobody thought were worth correcting. I make those corrections before they have a chance to become habits. Clean entry, clean exit, nothing extra, nothing borrowed from tomorrow. The session keeps asking whether I'm willing to trade accuracy for urgency. I never like that deal, urgency fades the moment pressure changes direction. Precision survives every adjustment because it isn't built on emotion. It isn't trying to impress the room, it's trying to remove another layer of inefficiency until the work flows without interruption. Less correction during the movement means more confidence before the next one even begins. Every unnecessary move asks for payment eventually. I'd rather invest that energy where it keeps multiplying instead of disappearing. Stay disciplined enough to protect the details, stay patient enough to trust the process, and let clean execution become louder than reckless intensity. The smallest improvement repeated every day will always outrun the biggest shortcut taken once. The strongest version of me isn't doing more than everyone else, it's carrying less that doesn't belong. Less hesitation, less wasted effort, less distraction, more intention inside every repetition, more control inside every transition, more consistency when the workload reaches the point where shortcuts start sounding reasonable. That's the difference between looking busy and actually becoming better. Nothing extra, nothing wasted, everything earned. Remove the waste, keep the work. Momentum isn't waiting somewhere ahead for me to finally deserve it. It starts the moment I refuse to stop moving after the first sign of resistance. People think progress is built by extraordinary sessions, but momentum is always preferred. Ordinary days protected with uncommon discipline. It grows quietly between repetitions nobody remembers. Inside decisions too small to celebrate. Inside mornings where showing up matters more than feeling unstoppable. That's why I never ask whether today's session will change everything I ask. Whether today's work deserves to become tomorrow's advantage. Stopping is expensive because restarting always costs more than continuing. Every pause gives hesitation another opportunity to rebuild ground it never earned in the first place. I keep the rhythm alive even when the pace has to change, because consistency isn't measured by perfect conditions, it's measured by how little the standard moves when everything else does. Fast days, slow days, heavy days, sharp days, the momentum stays because the commitment never changes its address. Momentum never sleeps, it keeps growing through every disciplined decision that refuses to wait for perfect timing. Stay connected to the work, trust the rhythm you've already built, and keep moving with intention until progress becomes too consistent for doubt to interrupt. Every step protects the next one before it even begins. People notice acceleration long before they notice preparation. They see the speed without seeing the thousands of ordinary choices that quietly removed everything standing in its way. That's why I keep investing in details that never ask for attention. Cleaner transitions, better timing, faster recovery, stronger control. The session rewards consistency long before it rewards intensity. And momentum always remembers who kept showing up after motivation left the room. Momentum doesn't disappear overnight, it leaks away through delayed decisions and finished work and promises pushed into tomorrow, until tomorrow starts looking exactly like yesterday. That's why I protect the streak before I protect the result. Every completed session leaves behind another reason to begin the next one with confidence instead of hesitation. The rhythm stays alive because I refuse to leave empty spaces where excuses can settle in and make themselves comfortable. Some days the body feels powerful, other days it feels borrowed. Neither one gets to decide the standard. The work doesn't become smaller because my mood changed before I walk through the door. I keep building with whatever I brought today, trusting that discipline effort compounds faster than perfect circumstances ever could. Momentum isn't emotional, it's mathematical. Every honest repetition adds another layer that tomorrow gets to inherit instead of rebuild. No, momentum never asks whether today feels different, it only asks whether I'll keep adding another discipline decision to everything that came before it. Stay faithful to the rhythm, stay committed to the process, and let consistency become so ordinary that stopping starts feeling more difficult than continuing. Looking back, the biggest improvements never arrive with dramatic moments. They arrive disguised as ordinary sessions repeated long enough to become impossible to ignore. One better habit replace another weak one. One cleaner movement replace another wasting motion. One stronger decision quietly became the new default. That's how momentum wins, not by rushing toward the finish, by refusing to leave the path. Keep moving, keep moving. Momentum remembers. Momentum remembers. Yeah, 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 yeah. Most. Yeah. Get it up. Yeah. Most people stop where the pain becomes obvious. I keep going until the invisible work finally starts speaking. The last percent has always been the most expensive part of the journey, because nothing around it looks traumatic enough to justify the price. That's exactly why it matters. Crowds celebrate breakthroughs, they rarely notice the thousands of disciplined choices that quietly collected enough evidence to make the breakthrough inevitable. I don't train for moments that look impressive, I train for standards that refuse to disappear when the excitement does. The difference between enough and exceptional is almost impossible to measure while you're living inside it. One cleaner repetition, one steadier breath, one tighter transition, one decision to protect technique after fatigue starts negotiating against it. Those tiny investments keep stacking with shortcuts, keep withdrawing, and eventually the distance between average effort and elite execution becomes impossible to close with motivation alone. That's where commitment begins. Collecting rewards in motion could never afford. The last percent is never given away for free. It waits behind the repetition. Nobody wants the correction, nobody celebrates in the discipline. Nobody sees until the results become impossible to ignore. Keep investing in the smallest details, because they're quietly building the biggest difference. Progress doesn't slow down near the finish line, because the goal gets farther away, it slows down. Because every improvement now demands greater precision than the one before it. That's why I stop looking for dramatic changes. I look for honest ones, better balance under pressure, cleaner timing under fatigue, sharper control when the pace starts pulling everything apart. That's where the final percentage hides, waiting for someone patient enough to earn it instead of rushing past it. The final percentage never introduces itself, it hides inside moments where quitting would look completely reasonable. That's why I belong to so few people. Everyone wants dramatic improvement, but almost nobody wants the ordinary discipline required to uncover it. One extra correction, one cleaner repetition, one decision to stay accurate after fatigue starts rewriting the rules. That's where hidden progress finally steps into the light. The closer I get to the standard I'm chasing, the less room mistakes have to survive. Tiny flaws become expensive, small distractions grow louder. Precision becomes the only language that still creates distance. I stopped asking whether the work was hard enough, I started asking whether every detail deserved to remain exactly as it was. If the answer is no, I fix it immediately. Delay gives weakness time to organize itself. The last percent belongs to the people who keep protecting the details after everyone else starts protecting their comfort. Stay patient with the process, stay ruthless with every unnecessary mistake, and keep choosing discipline long after the motivation has already left the room. Excellence is never hidden behind one giant step. It's waiting inside the next honest one. When people finally notice the result, they call it talent, timing, and luck, because those explanations are easier than accepting how many ordinary days built something extraordinary. They never saw the mornings that felt average, the sessions that looked forgettable, the repetitions that disappeared without applause. That's where the final percentage was earned. Quietly, patiently, without permission. Yeah. Protect the details on the last percent. Yeah. Yeah. On the last percent. Low never apologizes for showing up heavier than expected. It doesn't explain itself, doesn't negotiate, doesn't lower the standard, because yesterday demanded everything I had. That's why I stopped preparing for ideal conditions and started preparing for increasing pressure instead. Every session that's a different question, using the same language. Can the structure stay honest when the demand rises? Can technique survive after strength starts fading? Can discipline keep making decisions when emotion has already clocked out? That's the conversation I'm interested in winning. The strongest foundation isn't built by surviving one impossible day. It's built by refusing to let ordinary days become careless. Every setup deserves attention before the first movement begins. Every transition deserves respect before speed enters the equation. I keep reducing the necessary effort until the only thing left carrying weight is intention itself. That's how pressure becomes productive instead of destructive. The heavier the workload becomes, the more valuable precision grows, because force without direction only teaches exhaustion how to arrive earlier. The load keeps increasing because growth has no reason to stay comfortable. Meter with better control, cleaner rhythm and steadier execution. Instead of louder effort, strength isn't measured by how much resistance appears in front of you. It's measured by how much composure remains after the pressure refuses to leave. Every difficult session exposes another habit, trying to hide behind confidence alone. Confidence fades when the workload keeps climbing, preparation doesn't. That's why I trust repetition over emotion, alignment over regression, and patience over panic. The weight never decides who improves, it simply reveals who built the foundation strong enough to keep moving after everything becomes heavier than planned. Pressure doesn't make me question the standard, it reminds me why I raised it. The load never stays the same long enough to become familiar. Just when the body starts understanding it, another layer gets added and the conversation begins again. That's why adaptation matters more than comfort. I don't expect today's strength to solve tomorrow's challenge. I expect today's discipline to prepare tomorrow's response. Every completed set earns the right to face a heavier question, and every heavier question demands cleaner execution instead of louder determination. Fatigue has a way of making ordinary mistakes feel reasonable. The grip slips a little sooner, the posture drifts a little farther. The rhythm starts bargaining for shortcuts disguised as efficiency. That's what the standard earns its purpose. I tighten every detail before weakness. It's time to settle into the movement. One correction protects the next repetition. The next repetition protects the set, and the set protects the progress nobody can see. The load doesn't become lighter because I ask it to. It becomes more manageable because every session leaves behind another layer of preparation. Stay patient under pressure, stay disciplined when the pace begins to shake the foundation, and keep moving with intention until heavy becomes familiar, and familiar becomes another starting point. People remember the weight that finally moved. They rarely remember the countless decisions that made that moment possible. The quiet setup, the balanced dance, the controlled breathing, the discipline to repeat the same standard long after excitement disappeared. That's where real strength keeps hiding. Not in one extraordinary effort, but in ordinary precision, protected every single day. The load will return tomorrow, so will I, stronger than yesterday's excuses. Carry the load, become the strength. Everything built too quickly eventually starts asking for repairs. I've seen explosive stars disappear before the session even found its rhythm, because intensity without structure always spends tomorrow trying to impress today. I stopped chasing performances that look unforgettable and started building habits that refuse to disappear. Every repetition is another brick, every correction another layer, reinforcement, every disciplined decision another reason the foundation stays standing long after excitement walks out of the room. People celebrate peaks because peaks are easy to recognize. They rarely notice the base supporting everything above it. That's why I keep investing. Better balance before heavier loads, cleaner rhythm before faster movement, sharper timing before greater force. The stronger the base becomes, the less energy gets wasted holding everything together. Progress isn't about adding more until something changes. It's about strengthening what already exists until nothing can shake it loose. Pressure doesn't scare strong foundations, it exposes weak construction. That's why I welcome demanding sessions instead of avoiding them. Every difficult day inspects another part of the work I thought was finished. Every challenge uncovers another detail worth protecting. I don't need proof that I'm improving, I need another opportunity to make the structure harder to break than it was yesterday. Anything worth keeping is worth building slowly enough to survive pressure. Stay loyal to the process, protect the details that nobody notices, and let every honest repetition strengthen the next one before it even begins. Lasting strength isn't created by one unforgettable effort. It's created by standards that never stop supporting each other. Temporary motivation can build momentum, but only discipline knows how to maintain it. That's why I trust routines more than emotions, and preparation more than confidence. Every completed session leaves another layer beneath tomorrow's work, making the next challenge feel less like a surprise and more like another chance to prove the foundation was built for exactly this moment. Nothing here is rushed, everything here is built to last. Strong foundations never renounce themselves, they stay quiet while everything above them keeps demanding more. That's the kind of strength I respect, the kind that doesn't crack when the workload doubles, doesn't panic when the pace accelerates, doesn't negotiate when fatigue starts, making promises it can never keep. Every session tests another beam, another joint, another unseen detail, holding the entire structure together. If something bends, I rebuild it before it has a chance to break. People love dramatic transformations because they happen fast enough to remember. I trust gradual construction because it lasts long enough to matter. Layer after layer, habit after habit, repetition after repetition, the standard keeps rising without asking for attention. By the time anyone notices the difference, the real work has already been finished beneath the surface. That's the advantage of patience, it compounds while everyone else is searching for shortcuts. Build what pressure can't erase, build what fatigue can't bargain away. Keep reinforcing every detail until consistency becomes stronger than emotion, and preparation becomes louder than doubt. Lasting progress isn't measured by how quickly it appears, it's measured by how difficult it becomes to destroy. Tomorrow another challenge will arrive, pretending it has never met me before. Good foundations don't prove themselves once, they prove themselves every single time they ask to carry more than yesterday. That's why I keep returning to the work instead of celebrating the result. The result fades, the structure remains, and when everything else begins to shake, I still be standing on something I spent years building, one disciplined decision at a time. Built with purpose, built with patience, built to last. Protect the foundation, everything else will rise. No. Yeah, every session reaches a moment nobody can predict. It doesn't arrive with a louder sound or a brighter finish. It arrives quietly, hidden between one repetition that feels ordinary and the next one that changes everything. Most people never recognize it because they're too busy counting what's already behind them. Instead of protecting what's happening right now, I don't chase breakthrough moments anymore. I prepare for them long before they decide to appear. Every disciplined choice pushes the balance a little farther until the impossible finally runs out of room to stand. Pressure keeps pretending the limit is fixed, but limits have terrible memory. Show them enough honest work and they start forgetting where they used to live. That's why I never rush the process, trying to force results into existence. I keep adding another precise movement, another cleaner transition, another repetition that quietly shifts the balance without asking anyone to notice. Momentum doesn't need applause, it only needs consistency. Repeated long enough that resistance wakes up too late to stop it. There comes a point where effort starts feeling like survival and starts feeling like identity. That's the moment I'll wait for, not because it's easier, but because everything before it finally begins. Working together, the breathing, the time, and the discipline, the patience. They stop competing for attention and start pulling in the same direction. That's where progress becomes irreversible. The tipping point never announces itself. It waits inside the repetition everyone else believes is just another repetition. Stay committed when nothing seems different. Protect the rhythm before chasing the result, and keep adding one honest decision after another until the balance quietly chooses your side. People call it an overnight change because they never witnessed the ordinary days. They kept moving the line a fraction at a time. Every invisible improvement stayed hidden until enough of them gathered in one place. That's how transformation always works. Quiet enough to ignore at first, powerful enough to become undeniable later. I don't need instant proof, I need need another chance to move the line, one decision farther. The tipping point isn't the finish, it's the moment turning back quietly disappears. Every discipline choice before it felt isolated, like another brick with no visible structure to support. Then suddenly the pieces stop feeling separate. Timing begins, protecting power, recovery begins, protecting rhythm, precision begins, protecting speed. Nothing new was added today. Everything built yesterday finally learned how to work together. Most people quit one decision before momentum changes direction. They mistake silence for failure because progress hasn't introduced itself yet. I stay with the process a little longer. One more clean repetition, one more controlled adjustment, one more opportunity to let consistency collect another fraction nobody can see. The breakthrough doesn't belong to the strongest person in the room, it belongs to the one who refuses to interrupt the process before it finishes speaking. The tipping point doesn't reward urgency, it rewards patience, repeated often enough to become undeniable. Keep protecting the details when they still look insignificant. Keep trusting the work before the evidence appears, and let every disciplined decision quietly shift the balance until resistance realizes it crossed the line without ever noticing. Tomorrow I walk into the room looking exactly the same as I did today. That's the part people misunderstand. Real change doesn't always introduce itself through appearance. Sometimes it hides inside better time and calmer breathing, stronger control and decisions that no longer require negotiation. That's the version I'm building, the one that doesn't need dramatic moments to prove it exists. Because once the balance shifts, it never truly shifts back. Move the line, protect the process. Patterns are comfortable because they stop asking questions. Wake up, repeat, settle, recover, repeat again into routine. Quietly becomes permission to stop improving, that's the trap. The body adapts to everything, including mediocrity, if I keep feeding it the same answers. So I interrupt the cycle before the cycle starts owning me. Different tempo, different workload, different sequence, same standard. Growth doesn't disappear because the work became harder. It disappears because nothing new was demanded from the person doing it. Every plateau begins as a familiar decision repeated too many times. The weight feels manageable, the rhythm feels automatic. The challenge becomes predictable enough that attention starts wandering somewhere else. That's the warning sign. The moment come from memorizes the session. Progress quietly packs his bags and leaves through the back door. I don't wait for results to slow down before making changes. I change first, forcing adaptation to keep searching for another version of strength that hasn't been discovered yet. Pressure doesn't need to become heavier every day. Sometimes it only needs to become unfamiliar. Shift the angle, change the pace, rearrange the order, ask a different question with the same amount of effort. And suddenly yesterday's confidence has to earn its place all over again. That's how growth stays alive, not by repeating success forever, by refusing to let success become predictable. Patterns always promise comfort before they steal progress. Break the rhythm before it becomes automatic. Challenge the habit before it becomes permanent. And keep demanding new answers from the same disciplined mind. Improvement never survives inside repetition alone. That survives inside adaptation. The strongest version of me isn't the one that mastered yesterday's routine. It's the one willing to abandon it the moment it stops creating resistance. Familiar work builds confidence, unfamiliar work builds capacity. I came here for capacity. The hardest pattern to break isn't in the workout, it's in the thinking that built it. The voice that says this has always worked is usually the same voice, protecting yesterday from tomorrow. I respect what brought me here, but I refuse to let it decide how far I go next. Every improvement begins with questioning something that once felt untouchable. Better timing replaces familiar timing, better movement replaces comfortable movement, better standards replace old victories before those victories have a chance to become excuses. Adaptation never asks whether change feels convenient, it only asks whether the challenge is honest enough to force a new response. That's why I keep introducing uncertainty on purpose. Different pace, different order, different pressure. The body searches for old solutions and can't find them anymore. Good, that's exactly where learning begins. Growth isn't confused by unfamiliar work, it feeds on it. Break the pattern before the pattern starts breaking your progress. Stay curious enough to rebuild what already feels good. Stay disciplined enough to protect the standard while changing the method, and keep moving toward discomfort until yesterday's routine no longer recognizes the person repeating it. Tomorrow won't reward me for repeating yesterday perfectly. It'll reward me for arriving prepared to solve a different problem with the same commitment. That's the standard I protect, not a routine, not a favorite method. The mindset willing to evolve before comfort has the chance to catch up. The pattern serves its purpose. Now it serves as proof that it's time to build a better one. the better. Keep the progress.
Every exit looks reasonable until the standard starts asking better questions. Leave now when the pain disappears. Stay longer when the weakness does. That's the choice waiting behind every difficult set, every final sprint, every moment where the body starts negotiating with comfort like it suddenly deserves a vote. I stopped building escape plans because every escape quietly teaches hesitation where commitment should have been growing. If the only direction left is forward, every decision becomes simpler, harder, maybe cleaner always. The room doesn't trap me, my own expectations do. That's why I raise them before pressure gets the chance. Every repetition closes another unnecessary door. Every discipline adjustment locks another shortcut from ever becoming an option again. The work becomes sharper because the choices become fewer. No drifting, no guessing, no searching for easier versions of the same answer. Just another precise movement, protecting the next one before fatigue has the opportunity to rewrite the plan. When people think determination is loud, they're listening to the wrong moments. Real commitment sounds almost silent. It looks like another set completed with the same attention as the first one. Another breath controlled instead of borrowed. Another decision made before doubt even finishes introducing itself. That's what happens when retreat quietly disappears from the map. When there is no exit, focus grows sharper. Keep the standard in front of you, keep the rhythm underneath you, and keep moving with enough intention that turning back slowly stops making sense. The strongest commitment isn't forced by pressure. It's created by removing every direction except forward. Every unfinished effort keeps asking to be completed, and every completed effort becomes another reason the next challenge loses a little of its authority. That's why I never leave the work halfway finished. Momentum remembers every promise I keep, and discipline keeps building walls where excuses once found open doors. One decision becomes another, another becomes conviction, and conviction becomes a path too narrow for hesitation to walk beside. The moment retreat disappears, every ounce of energy starts moving in the same direction. Nothing gets wasted protecting the backup plan. Nothing gets borrowed from tomorrow, hoping today will somehow become easier. Commitment becomes lighter because the decision has already been made. The body can complain all it wants, but complaints don't change the route. Every step still belongs to the destination. Every repetition still belongs to the standard. Every breath still belongs to the work waiting in front of me. Pressure keeps looking for hesitation because hesitation creates openness. No amount of strength can close. I stop giving it that opportunity. Every difficult choice gets made before fatigue has enough time to argue against it. Every adjustment happens while control still owns the movement. That's why discipline feels calm under heavy demand. It prepared the answer long before the question ever arrived. No exit, no backup, no second direction waiting to become more comfortable than the first. Stay committed to the next movement, protect the next decision, and keep building momentum until forward becomes the only language the session remembers. The strongest mindset isn't trapped, it simply refuses to leave. Tomorrow another challenge will stand exactly where today's challenge used to be. That's how progress keeps introducing itself, not by removing resistance, but by teaching me to stop searching for another way around it. Every completed session closes another door behind me, making the return to old habits feel farther away than the next difficult step. No exit route, no unfinished work, no reason to stop. Forward only, every time. Every time. Every unfinished promise has a way of following me into the next session. It doesn't shout, it waits, sits in the background of every repetition, reminding me exactly where I walked away before the work was complete. That's why I stopped chasing fresh motivation. Motivation forgets too easily. Accountability doesn't be unfinished work. Remembers every shortcut, every delayed decision, every stand that I almost lowered when nobody else would've noticed. I noticed there's enough reason to come back and finish what hesitation try to leave behind. There are no clean slates in this room. Every choice carries something forward. Good habits arrive with reinforcements, bad habits arrive expecting another invitation. I decide which one gets through the door before the first movement even begins. That's why preparation starts long before the warm-up. The session isn't won by stronger muscles alone, it's won by stronger decisions repeated before pressure gets the chance to rewrite them. One completed task removes another excuse from tomorrow. One unfinished task quietly builds another. Every difficult day asks the same question in a different voice. Will I leave something behind that I'll have to carry again later? My answer stays the same. Finish the repetition, finish the set, finish the standard. Leave nothing unfinished except the next level waiting to be earned.
earned.
Unfinished work always comes back looking heavier than before. Finish what deserves to be finished, protect the promise you made before. Fatigue arrive and keep moving until tomorrow. Inherit progress instead of regret. The strongest discipline isn't starting well. It's refusing to leave the work incomplete.
Every completed effort changes the conversation. Waiting for me tomorrow, the body remembers commitment just as clearly as it remembers hesitation. I choose which memory gets stronger every time I decide whether the work ends here or actually ends when the standard says it does.
Nothing unfinished
Ever disappears, it waits behind the next challenge. Wearing extra weight, asking for payment with interest because I delayed what should have been handled the first time. That's why I stopped negotiating with the final repetition. The last decision always teaches the loudest lesson. Finish completely and tomorrow begins lighter. Leave it unfinished as tomorrow starts carrying yesterday before today's work even begins. Completion isn't about emptying the tank just to say I did. It's about removing every reason to come back and repeat the same mistake. Every correction stays corrected, every weakness gets addressed before it learns how to survive another session. I don't collect half-finished improvements anymore. I collect standards that can carry more pressure every time they're tested. That's the difference between temporary ethic and lasting progress.
Unfinished work keeps calling your name until you answer with action. Stay with the process after motivation disappears. Stay loyal to the standard after fatigue starts bargaining, and keep moving until every promise made at the beginning of the session finally reaches the finish. That's how discipline closes every open chapter.
When the lights go out and the room finally grows quiet, I don't think about how difficult the session felt. I think about whether anything important was left undone. That's the only question that follows me home. Tomorrow deserves a stronger starting point than today received, and it's my responsibility to leave it one.
Nothing unfinished, nothing postponed, nothing carried over. Finish the work, then begin again. Unfinished work, then begin again. Yeah.
Nothing more. Tomorrow never signed a contract promising better conditions. It doesn't know me, stronger legs, deeper lungs, cleaner timing, or another opportunity to erase what I refuse to finish today. That's why I stopped expecting the future to rescue unfinished effort. Every advantage waiting for me tomorrow has to be built before I leave this room tonight. Hope is a terrible training partner. Preparation never misses a session. People keep talking about fresh starts like midnight changes something that doesn't. The calendar flips without carrying a single repetition for me. Every improvement still has to be earned from the ground up. One disciplined decision after another, that's the part I respect. Nothing arrives prepaid. Every cleaner movement buys another cleaner movement. Every honest correction protects another honest correction. The future isn't generous, it simply returns whatever I invested while nobody else was paying attention. I don't ask tomorrow for confidence because confidence expires. I ask today for commitment because commitment keeps paying long after excitement disappears. The standard doesn't care what day it is. The weight doesn't recognize holidays. The distance doesn't shorten because I wanted it badly enough. Everything stays exactly where it was, waiting to see whether my actions finally become loud enough to move it. Tomorrow owes nothing, and that's exactly why today's work matters so much. Keep building while the results are still invisible. Keep protecting the standard before success has a name, and keep investing every disciplined decision where excuses can never collect a reward. The future doesn't hand out progress. It delivers whatever today's effort sends ahead. Every session writes a message the next one has to read. I choose the words carefully. Better rhythm instead of rush movement. Better control instead of borrowed confidence. Better preparation instead of comfortable promises. By the time tomorrow finally arrives, I don't need it to be easier. I needed to find me already stronger. Tomorrow doesn't remember intention, it remembers evidence. The work completed after motivation disappeared. The repetition protected after fatigue started. Negotiating the decision made when comfort sounded smarter than discipline. That's the currency the future accepts. Nothing else survives the distance between today and tomorrow. Excuses expire overnight, preparation doesn't. Every unfinished promise quality steals from the next opportunity before it even arrives. That's why I refuse to borrow confidence from the future. I earn certainty through today's execution. Every clean movement deposits another layer into a foundation tomorrow can't build for me. Every discipline choice becomes another advantage, waiting ahead instead of another regret. Following behind progress never skips a payment. It always has today's version of me to cover tomorrow's success. Tomorrow owes nothing because it was never responsible for today's standard. Keep showing up before the excuses finish speaking. Keep protecting the details while nobody notices the effort, and keep stacking disciplined decisions until the future has no choice but to return exactly what you invested. Nothing more, nothing less. One day, people will call the result inevitable. They won't remember the ordinary mornings, the difficult sessions, the invisible corrections, or the quiet discipline that kept moving when nothing looked different yet. That's fine, I didn't build this for recognition. I built it because tomorrow was never gonna do the work on my behalf. The future doesn't reward hope, it rewards preparation. Every single time. Tomorrow owes nothing, nothing, nothing. Earn everything today. Earn everything today.